Hello students, and welcome to this lesson on finding angles across parallel lines and transversals. Our objective today is that we will verify angles formed by parallel lines cut by a transversal by solving for missing angles using our journal notes, and as well we'll also be using a practice worksheet. So when we're looking at example 1 here, we know some interesting things. So if it's given that angle 1 is going to be 107 degrees, there's a couple of different things that I can say knowing that. The first thing is that if angle 1 is 107 degrees, well, I know that the vertical angle will be the same angle, and then also the corresponding angle will be the same angle. As well, this is an exterior angle, so my alternate exterior angle, or 8, will be congruent as well. So those four end up being congruent. So right off the bat, I can say that angle 3, angle 8, and angle 5 are all 107 degrees. So how do we find the rest of these angles? Well, we take something that we know, and we turn it into something that we don't know. So I want to look at this relationship here between angle 1 and angle 2. We know that angle 1 and angle 2 form a straight line together. So what does that mean? Well, it means that together their angles add up to a straight angle, or 180 degrees, which means that angle 2 is going to be supplementary to angle 1. So I can, right off the bat, I can say angle 2 is going to be supplementary to 107, and if I take 180 and I subtract 107, that should give me my value here. So it looks like my value is going to be 73, and then we have angle 2 is 73, but the angle vertical to angle 2 is also going to be 73, and then 4 and 6 are alternate interior angles, therefore 6 is going to be 73, and vertical angles will say that 7 is also 73 degrees. So I can say angle 2, angle 4, angle 6, and angle 7 are all equal to 73 degrees. So pretty straightforward once we get going on it, right? We just start filling in the puzzle pieces from what we know. Alright, so now let's start incorporating some algebra into this. So this is going to be an algebra problem. So we have 75 and we have an 11x minus 2, and I want to find x, and then I want to find all of the missing angles. So first off, I want to note the relationship here. These two positions are corresponding positions. So what do I know about corresponding angles? Well, I know that they are going to be congruent. So because they're congruent, there's something that I can do here. So these two angles are the same angle, right? They have the same measure, so I can say 11x minus 2 is the same thing, or is equal to 75, and now I simply need to solve for x. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I get 11x is equal to 77, and then I divide both sides by 11, and I get x is equal to 7. Alright, so now you're saying, Mr. Fox, you're done. Well, remember, we also wanted to find all of those missing angles, so now we can go through and do that as well. So just by my angular relationships here, right, vertical angles will be 75 degrees each. Then I know that this angle here will also be 75 degrees. And then if this angle is 75, then its supplementary angle here is going to be 105. And by vertical angles again, we can say that that's 105, this is 105, and this is 105. Alright, so now we're done with this problem. Alright, so let's do this again. We're doing more algebra. It's a little bit more complex this time. So we have these two positions here, and I want to identify their relationship, and it looks like they are on alternate sides of the transversal here, and they are also on the exterior, so these are going to be alternate exterior angles. Alright, so alternate exterior angles are congruent. Therefore, we can set up what this problem will be here. So negative 1 plus 14x is equal to 12x plus 17. Alright, and then we will solve this algebraically. So we add 1 to both sides, and then we subtract 12 from both sides, or sorry, 12x rather, and we get 2x is equal to 18, or x is equal to 9. So are we done yet? The answer is no. We found x, but it also wants us to find all of these missing angles. So now, it's not as easy as that previous problem, right? First, what I have to do is I need to plug into one of these equations to find this angle, and then I'll be able to find the rest of them. Alright, so right now my missing angle is 17 plus 12 times 9. 12 times 9 is going to be 108. So 108 added to 17. So that's going to be 125. So this angle here is equal to 125 degrees, and therefore we know that every other place which is congruent to it will also be 125 degrees. Okay, and then we can say 180 minus 125, and that will give me my supplementary angle. So then we see that our supplementary angle will be 55 degrees. Okay, and now we're done with this problem. Alright, so example 4 is where we start doing something a little bit different, right? We have interior angles that are on the same side. So these are going to be same side interior angles. And their relationship is now not congruent, right? Same side interior angles are not congruent, they are supplementary, which means together, right, these are going to add up to 180. So how can I express that algebraically? Well, I can write 2x minus 1, sorry, 24x minus 1, plus, right, because I'm adding it together with 20x plus 5, and that's going to be equal to, well, they're supplementary, so equal to 180. Alright, so now let's consolidate our algebra a little bit here. So 24 plus 20 gives us 44x, and then we have 5 minus 1, that'll give me 4. And now I have 44x plus 4 equals 180. I subtract 4 from both sides. So then I will get 176. And then I have 44x is equal to 176. And just as kind of a guess and check over here, I thought to myself, okay, well, I feel like 3 is too little for this to work, so I'm going to try 44 multiplied by 4 and see if that would meet my requirement of being 176, and it does. So I know that if I divide both sides by 44, then x will be equal to 4. So I found x. Now remember, in these problems, I'm more interested in what the individual angles are, so I want to go back and plug this in so I can find my individual angles. So then I would say 24x minus 1, so 24 multiplied by 4 minus 1, and that's going to be equal to, that'll be equal to 95, and from there what I can say is 180 minus 95, and that should give me the supplementary angle. So we come in here, we have a 10, minus 5, that'll be 5. Now we have 7, So we're going to say 17 minus 9, that should be 8. So then we have our supplementary angle will be 85 degrees. So those are our two angles, and they are indeed supplementary, and they seem to meet all of our requirements. Alright, so you'll want to diagram out 5 here in your journal, and then go on to the next page and do the reflection. So once you've diagrammed out 5, your reflection is that you're going to be completing example 5 in your journal. So you're going to find all of those missing angles. If you have any questions, please let me know, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.